All right, I'm gonna try something new. That's why I'm recording instead of streaming. I'm going to watch RNC speeches. I should do the DNC speeches too. It'd probably be just as funny. Um, I'm gonna watch these speeches. I'm gonna record myself. I'm gonna see how I react. I just did Kimberly Guilfoyle without recording it, and I realized halfway through that I should have, cause she said some like really like stupid shit, like really overtly like just like dumb pro America. Uh, but she also like delivered some really good stuff, and I think I understood while watching hers how the RNC is going to approach this, where they'll give you a little taste of like talking about rioting and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're just going to hammer home that they're like the party who loves the country and that the Democrats don't, but they're mostly focusing on how they love the country. It's like right now I see probably like a 70-30 um, optimism to pessimism, but we'll see how it turns out. I hear that this one particularly is good from my sources on the internet, that you can guess where they come from. So let's do this. I hope this records properly. I hope I don't have to do this again. So let's watch Maximo Alvarez, what I presume to be him talking about how bad communism is. And that's right up my alley. So let's do it. All right, here we go.
My name is Maximo Alvarez. I live in Miami, Florida, not far from the state of Florida, which is in just a 90-mile wide blue strip on a map for me. It divides freedom from fear. It divides the past from the present, from the future. I know all about the past. I'll never forget my own. My family has fled totalitarianism and communism more than once. First my dad from Spain, then from Cuba. But my families don't run away. By the grace of God, I live the American dream, the greatest blessing I ever had. My dad, who only had a sixth-grade education, told me, "Don't lose this place. You'll never be as lucky as me." I'm speaking to you today because my family is done abandoning what we rightfully earned. There's no place to hide. I'm speaking to you today because President Trump may not always be politically correct. He's in fact a successful businessman, not your average career politician. Our president is just another family man, a friend, and most important, our elected commander-in-chief who puts America first. Keep in mind, the other guy running for president is mostly concerned about power. Yes, power for them, but not for the benefit of all Americans. I'm speaking to you today because I have seen people like this before. I've seen movements like this before. I've seen ideas like this before. And I am here to tell you, we cannot let them take over our country. I heard the promises of Fidel Castro, and I can never forget all those who grew up around me, who looked like me, who suffered and starved and died because they believed those empty promises. They swallowed the communist poison pill. If you have a chance, go to the Freedom Tower in Miami. Stop and listen. You can still hear the sounds of those broken promises. It is the sound of waves in the ocean carrying families clinging to pieces of wood. Families with children who can't swim, but willing to risk everything to reach this blessed land. It is the sound of tears hitting the paper of an application to become an American citizen. Most heard and liked the promises, but soon after, they experienced the reality. look at them, listen to them, learn the truth. Those false promises spread the wealth, free education, free health care, defund the police, trust the socialist state more than your family and your community. They don't sound radical to my ears. They sound familiar. When Fidel Castro was asked if he was a communist, he said he was a Roman Catholic. He knew he had to hide the truth. But the country I was born in is gone, totally destroyed. When I watch the news in Seattle, Chicago, Portland, and other cities, when I see the history being rewritten, when I hear the promises, I've heard echoes of the former life I never wanted to hear again. I see shadows I thought I had outrun. My parents only wanted one person to decide my fate, me. Not some party member, not some government official, not some bureaucrat. In America, I would decide my own future. I am so grateful to America, the place where I was able to build my American dream through hard work and determination. President Trump knows that the American story was written by people just like you and I, who love our country and take risks to build a future for our families and neighbors. I may be a Cuban born, but I am 100% American. This is the greatest country in the world. And I said this before. If I gave away everything that I have today, it would not equal 1% of what I was given when I came to this great country of ours. The gift of freedom. Right now, it is up to us to decide our fate and to choose freedom over oppression. President Trump, he's fighting the forces of anarchy and communism. And I know he will continue to do just that. And what about his opponent and the rest of the DC swamp? I have no doubt they will hand the country over to those dangerous forces. You and I will decide. And here's what I've decided. My decision is very easy. I choose President Trump because I choose America.
All right. He definitely the kill shot line, I think it's gonna stand out to everyone. Whether you can stomach like anyone giving a pro-America message or not. Like the line where he clearly, he's not an actor. He clearly was about to cry, and he said that he would give away everything for one drop of, what did he say? He'd give everything away for one drop of what he actually got, or something like that. I mean, you know what it was, and that was American freedom. That, I mean, my eyes actually did water. No drop came down. I can't say I cried, but that I got that feeling. And up until then, it was like milquetoast to an extent. I'd heard many stories before of people who left communism, like in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. I mean, it was like a commonplace joke about rafts made of tires and stuff coming from Cuba. It's not nice to joke about, but it was commonplace, and that was people fleeing the Cuba of Fidel Castro. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that Cubans hate communism, and this guy would get up there and do this. But anyway, he delivered that line about that he would give away everything, basically, because I should go back because I'm like destroying the line, but that was perfect. And then he kind of like slipped in a little like full on Donald Trump Jr. kind of Twitter stuff about anarchists and communists, which, but he's allowed to at least say communists. I mean, he's allowed, and it's very important, I think, um, that he talks about the way that these ideals are sold to people. He's heard it before. He's heard the promises of like you're gonna get everything you want for free, and all the other stuff. I don't need to go into it. I'm not. I will straw man it if I go into it, but he I think that does need to be listened to an extent. So it was an excellent video. Uh, it took me a while, and then he delivered that one line that was just like, up until then, like the mentions of Trump felt kind of shoehorned. He didn't even need to bring it up. All he had to do was like convince the general populace to like stop listening to this push to the super far left that has been commonplace since 2016. I don't know. The Democratic Party's got a lot of work to do. This is clearly a better production value than anything I saw from the DNC. Now, obviously, my sources are biased. I've given up for the time being. I've like totally given up objectivity when it comes to like I don't know, pretty much anything about the DNC right now. They're like, if they continue to push to the left and they continue to push in such like a rabid response to Trump, and perhaps they're trying to channel their own voters or whatever, but that isn't enough to form a coalition of voters. The disgust vote doesn't work as much as you think it does. The human reaction of disgust is very intense, but that doesn't mean that they're going to vote that way. You can disapprove of the job a president's doing and still vote for him. You can. So the Democratic Party, I have like totally given up objectivity on for the time being, because until they get a voice in there that says, what are we talking about? Like, people like working. Like, have you ever taken a staycation? Like, it gets so boring after like 3 or 4 days. I used to like dream about not working. Not working like sucks. So this push for like just getting paid to live because you're like a clever person. Yeah, I bought into that when I was in my 20s. I thought I was clever enough for someone to just like give me money so that I could live. Well, you're a funny guy. Here's your money to live. It's not going to work that way. So until the Democratic Party can get back on the idea of you want to keep money, you want to work and keep your money and like actually feel like you're getting something out of life other than waking up, going to work, eating dinner, and going to bed. Like, you want to actually build something, you want to invest in something and watch it grow, you want to do anything. You have the money to do it. And it doesn't have to be given to you by the government, it has to be stopped from being taken from you from the government. And that's what the Republicans are going to offer you. And the Democrats are not going to offer you that. The Democrats are like all in on pinpointing minority groups and discussing their grievances with overall society and amplifying that to the greatest extent that they can. And they're important issues, but like if that's your entire platform, you're alienating like the largest possible group. There was just recently a poll, and I don't even trust polls usually, at least as far as Donald Trump's concerned. I think a lot of people are afraid to even like imply that they support him. But there was just a poll that showed Trump had a 10-point advantage with independents, and that's because people that are in the middle who don't like either party are like they usually tend to be like, you know, libertarians. I think the libertarians are the largest independent group, um, for sure, and the non the non-affiliated that are just, I'm independent and I'm not, I don't even consider myself libertarian, they probably are closer to libertarian than anything else, I would presume. Those people just want to keep their head down. They want to work. They want to build a living, you know, build a retirement. They probably want to own firearms so that they can protect themselves in case someone breaks into their house. They don't like the idea that you're going to stop them from doing that. They probably are pro pot because most people are. It's like 70% of the country. The the Democrats aren't even going all in on like weed. I mean, shouldn't, if Joe Biden really wants to win, I mean, I don't think he said anything about pot. And Donald Trump, if Donald Trump wants to deliver the fucking kill shot, he should go all in on um, he should just do it. He should do an executive order rescheduling marijuana out of Schedule 1. That'd be the kill shot. He would win. I mean, independents for sure. He would, I I would guess he would win minority groups for sure. Like, that is like an easy win. And he himself is a teetotaler, so I don't know if he'd actually go for that, but it's an easy win. And he seems to be the kind of guy who goes with his gut instinct on what's popular. Pot is popular. There's an election coming out, and he doesn't shy away from making big moves. That's what he does. So legalize pot. That should be his October surprise. October 1st. Pot legalized. Schedule 1 gone. He won a freaking landslide to be over. Well, we're gonna call it at that. First episode of political video reaction. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time.